northern France. The 10th of March, 1906. A fire has been burning in the Courrieres coal mine for days. Management walled it off and kept 1,800 men going down each morning. At 7 o'clock, a coal dust explosion, its ignition never ascertained, tears through 110 kilometers of connected galleries across 3 pits. 1,099 miners die. It is still Europe's worst mining disaster. The miners' delegate had warned about the dust in writing months before. He had urged them to halt the descents. 2 days into the search, state engineers concluded that no one below remained alive, and the effort wound down. 18 days after that, 13 men found their own way out of the dark. They had walked the black galleries for 20 days. The investigation was dismissed the next year. No one was ever put on trial. Sydney, Australia. The 18th of January 1977. The morning commuter train from the Blue Mountains rounds the curve at Granville, inside the speed limit, when the locomotive's wheel drops off a spread rail and the train plows into the piers of a road bridge. The bridge comes down onto the carriages. Hundreds of tons of concrete. 83 people die. Everyone assumed the driver had been speeding. The inquiry cleared him completely. Its finding, in Justice Staunton's words, the primary cause was the very unsatisfactory condition of the permanent way, track so poorly fastened that derailment was almost inevitable so long as it went uncorrected. Rail maintenance spending had been falling since the Second World War. Some of the trapped, still talking with their rescuers, died only when the weight was lifted from them, a syndrome barely understood in 1977. No one was ever prosecuted. Melbourne, Australia. The 15th of October 1970. The Westgate Bridge is rising over the River Yarra. 4 months earlier, a box girder bridge by the same design firm collapsed in Wales and killed 4 men. Westgate kept building. On one span, the 2 halves don't line up, so 10 concrete blocks, 8 tons each, are rolled onto the higher side to bend it down. A buckle appears in the steel. The fix ordered that morning: undo the bolts along the buckle. At 10 to noon, the span lets go. 2,000 tons of steel fall 50 meters onto the site huts where men are starting their lunch break. 35 workers die. The Royal Commission's finding: error begat error. The design was deficient, and the method of building it was unsafe. The deaths, it said, were utterly unnecessary. No one was ever charged. Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The 15th of December, 1967. Rush hour on the Silver Bridge over the Ohio River. At about 5 o'clock, one link in the suspension chain lets go. The bridge has no second load path, so the failure runs the length of it. Within about a minute, the towers, both side spans and the 700-foot center span, are in the river. 31 of the 37 vehicles on the bridge go down with it. 46 people die. 2 are never recovered. Investigators traced it to a crack in the eye of a single steel bar, I-bar 330, opened over 40 years by stress corrosion and metal fatigue. Here is what still unsettles engineers. The floor was inaccessible to visual inspection. No inspector had missed it. Nobody could have seen it without taking the joint apart. Congress ordered the country's first national bridge inspection program the following year. Montreal, Canada, Sunday the 9th of January, 1927. Around 250 children are in the Laurier Palace Cinema, most of them with no adult, watching a comedy called Get 'Em Young. A small fire starts under the floor of the balcony. Almost nobody in that balcony dies of burns. They die in the stairway. The children run for the exits, The exits are too few, and some of them are blocked, and the crush in the stairs down to the lobby kills 78 of them. The oldest is not yet 16. 2 days later, 39 of them are buried in one service, and 50,000 people stand in the street to watch it pass. Quebec's response came in two parts. The doors of public buildings were ordered to open outwards, and children under 16 were banned from cinemas across the province. That ban lasted until 1961, 34 years. The blast was small. The woman who caused it survived. Canning Town, London, just before 6 in the morning, the 16th of May, 1968. Ivy Hodge strikes a match in her kitchen on the 18th floor. A faulty connection has been leaking gas. The explosion blows the walls out of her flat, and those walls were holding the building up. The whole corner of the tower comes down, floor after floor, all 22 stories, to the ground. 4 people, 17 injured. Then the inquiry found the thing nobody wanted to hear. Ronan Point had been built to the regulations of the day. It passed. The panels were stacked and bolted with nothing to carry the load if one of them left, so a kettle, a match, and a loose fitting could take down the corner of a tower block. The building met the standard. The standard was the problem. Britain rewrote its building regulations. The fire hoses had been taken out of service. Off the New Jersey coast, the 8th of September 1934, the liner Morro Castle is running home to New York out of Havana. 10 to 3 in the morning, smoke from a locker in the first-class writing room. What started it was never established. What happened next was not a mystery at all. Hose fittings had been dismantled after a passenger tripped over one and sued the line. The hydrant system could run 6 outlets. The ship had 42. Open more than 6 and the pressure falls to nothing. The fire doors had automatic trip wires. They had been disconnected. Nobody closed them by hand. And above the wooden ceilings ran a 6-inch gap straight over the top of the fire doors. 137 out of 549. The master and the chief engineer were convicted. On appeal, both convictions were thrown out, and the blame was put on the captain, who had collapsed hours before the fire began. Follow for a new mystery every day.